What is up guys, I am Zed here, and after making 2 Zed montages and playing over 700 games as Zed, I think it's time for me to make a detailed Zed guide to teach you the basics of this champion and show you how strong Zed really is. Without further ado, let's get started. For summon spells, I would advise you to always run Flash and Ignite. Flash provides you that dueling potential and to escape ganks if you need to, and the Ignite provides you to assassinate better your targets and secure the kills. Now for the masteries, I like going 21, 9 and 0, pretty basic marksman and AD mid lane page. And for runes, I like going for contested 2.25 damage. Now let's move on to some key aspects of Zed that you must master in order to have success with that champion. The first one is to understand the difference of WEQ and WQE. The only difference is that the one combo WEQ is much more slower and the WQE is faster. Now, you must use the one that feels more comfortable to you. There is not a better or a worse combo. The second one is to understand the burst power of Zed's passive, especially if you combine it with your ultimate and with your other abilities. You're gonna do a lot of damage and you will be able to turn around the fights very easily. So Zed, because of that, is really strong at 1 vs 1 dueling, and that's why many split push with him. And the third one is fast fingers. You must always press the buttons very fast, but don't go crazy. You should always know what you're pressing. This is so important because in the teamfights you will need it, because if you don't press it very fast, you will only get CC'd and you will die. For the skill order, you should always start with Q and also max it. For the at level 2, you should always go for your W, and at level 3, go for your E. There's only one chance that you will pick your E before your W, and that's when you have a melee opponent. If you play against a talon, a phas, a yasuo, another Zed maybe, you should always try to go with the E at level 2 because it will help you to trade much more better. Now, as I said before, you should always max your Q, then your W, and last your E, and pick up your ultimate whenever you can at level 6, 11 and 16. Okay, so now it is time to go to the builds. I will tell you the standard, the basic one, and then I will tell you mine, which I think it is superior. Now for the standard one, you should always start with Durance Shield or Longsword. You should buy a Longsword when you think that you will win the lane phase, like against a Yasuo or a Talon. Longsword is really effective because you will do a lot of damage to them and you won't need a lot of HP. Now when you're against xerath or azir, you know, champions that will poke you out, that will pull you out of the lane, you should always go for that Durance Shield because it will give you shield, and also it will absorb 8 of the damage that these champions do, so it's really effective. On your first back, you should always try to buy that brutalizer. It will help you a lot because the enemies will probably buy Zonias, and brutalizer is really effective against that item. Now after that, you really want to go for the Blithering King. Now Blithering King is a core item on Zed, most of you know it, and the reason is because it gives you a lot of split pushing potential and the assassination. The assassinations is really easy to do if you have the Blithering King, because the active effect, it will slow the enemies, it will give you movement speed, it will heal you, and it will give you lifesteal, which is really OP right now. After that, you really want to go for Last Whisper if the enemies are tanky and they have a lot of armor, but if they are not, you should try to finish the Yomos because it will help you on split pushing a lot and it will be really effective. Next, the items are not standard. You just go for whatever you feel comfortable on. I really like for my 4th item to buy a cleaver. A cleaver is really strong as Zed in my opinion because it gives you damage, it gives you cooldown reduction, and it gives you HP. You will be able to last in fights very easily, and it's a very good team fighting item. Now some of you like to go raw AP, just you cannot go to destroy the enemies. At that point I would suggest you to go on an Infinity Edge, and after that go into the Banshee's Veil. But if you want to go on more YOLO mode, just go for Hydra. Now it's time for my build. The starting items of my build is exactly the same: Longsword to buy when you think you will win the laning phase, and Durance Shield when you think you will lose it. Now, the only difference is the Last Whisper. You will buy a Brutalizer and then go for Last Whisper. This is really strong build, guys, trust me, and it is really effective on gold, silver, bronze, because at those yellows, split boost doesn't work as effective as, you know, diamond and challenger and that stuff. So this build will help you do a lot of damage. Zoners will be almost useless because you will destroy all the armor, you will penetrate them, and it is very strong. But overall, guys, this build is something you must try out. You must try out by yourself to see how strong it is. Now, after the Last Whisper, you wanna go for a Blithering King to split boost a little bit and you know, to assassinate better. And after that, just complete your Yomus. Now, the same thing goes for the 5th and 6th item. Just buy whatever you feel more comfortable on. Now let's go on to the laning phase. The laning phase of Zed can be either aggressive or defensive. If you are a champion, if you have a champion that is really stronger and really weaker, like Talon, Yasuo, Gragas, you can surely go aggressive even at level 1 with your Q and your auto attacks. But if you are versus an azir, xerath, syndra, you know, champions that can poke a lot, that will poke you out of the lane, you should always try to play defensively. At level 2, the poke phase starts to come out. You can use your WQ to poke your opponent, but that's really situational. Sometimes you must save your energy to use it only on CS, and sometimes you must use it to play offensively. But again, this is situational. Now, around level 3, 4, 5, the only thing you have to do is poke as much as you can and wait for level 6. Now at level 6 you must do two things. If you think that you can kill your opponent at 1 versus 1, just go for it, dive him, do whatever you want. But if you think that you will not be able to kill him, if it has a high risk of dying, the best thing you have to do is to grow bottom lane. And you know, just try to kill bottom lane, try to help your team to get fed and just try to get an advantage by that and they get the dragon. So overall, Zed's lane phase is pretty situational. Now around the mid lane, the mid game, you have only one thing to do. Try to split push. At level 10, 11, try to split push, and before that, around level 8, the only thing you have to do is to try and roam, as I said before. At level 7 and 8, you are really strong because then you have your brutalizer, you have boots, and you have Blithering King. You have a very good roaming potential, and you can turn out the game very easily because you can gank bottom lane, get the dragon, and just take a lot of objectives only by that. Now, when you know you level up a lot more and the team fights start to come out, the late game, Zed is not good at team fights. Most of you know it. So try to split push. Rather than you have Young, you have Leather King, you have many items that will enable you to split push much more easily. Now, the advantages of split pushing is that you will get a lot of objectives, and if you are really strong, the opponents will need to throw 2 opponents to kill you, or even 3. That is really good, even if you die, because your team can take a dragon and baron at that time, and you will still get fed. But if you are not the stronger, if you are not the one that can kill everyone in the enemy team, don't split push, because if the opponent has a 3 damage, he's way stronger than you, he'll just come top and kill you, and that will not be worth it because your team will have a disadvantage, and that will be really bad. Now, what you want to do is try to get fed from the roams, and at around level 11, just tell your top lane to come mid, and you just go top lane and try to push as much as you can. So that is the whole game plan of Zed. At the laning phase, you play either aggressive or defensively, it depends on your opponent. At the mid game, try to roam as much as possible, and at the late game, split push all the time. But don't forget your team, okay guys? You cannot win 5 versus 1.